Welcome back, everyone, to the smartest year ever, our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalists. My name is Gordy, and because it's Fright Facts week still, I was just wondering, do you know that this patient was pronounced legally dead and then her heart spontaneously restarted almost an hour later? We're talking Lazarus Syndrome. Give me 5 minutes, I bet you can work this into a conversation today. Also, like and subscribe so you can keep up. I do this every single day. It's one of the rarest medical mysteries ever recorded. A patient declared clinically dead suddenly starts breathing again, usually after failed attempts at CPR. It's called Lazarus Syndrome, or the Lazarus phenomenon, named after the biblical Lazarus, whom Jesus supposedly raised from the dead 4 days after burial. In medicine, it refers to the return of spontaneous circulation, ROSC, after failed resuscitation efforts have stopped. The Lazarus Syndrome is a rare subset of ROSC, specifically spontaneous auto-resuscitation after failed CPR has been discontinued. Basically, the heart restarts itself after life-saving attempts have been deemed ineffective. And it's not just an urban legend. Since it was first documented in medical literature in 1982 by J.G. Linko in the Lancet, there have been 38 confirmed cases worldwide. Some sources say up to 76 cases. Either way, it's exceedingly rare. So how does this happen? Doctors have a few theories, and all of them sound like nature's version of a delayed reaction. One explanation is dynamic hyperinflation or air trapping, which creates a positive pressure in the chest known as auto-PEEP, positive end expiratory pressure. During CPR, air can build up in the lungs faster than it can escape, especially in patients with asthma or COPD, and that trapped air increases pressure in the chest, preventing blood from returning to the heart. When CPR stops and the trapped air finally escapes, whoosh, blood rushes back in, and the pressure equalizes and the heart restarts. Another theory involves delayed drug delivery. During resuscitation, medications like epinephrine may take time to circulate, especially if the IV is in a peripheral vein, meaning in the arms, the legs, hands, in contrast to a central vein, which would be located closer to the heart, like in the chest or the neck. In the case of delayed drug delivery, the drugs reach the heart only after CPR ends, reviving the patient minutes later. And there are also metabolic factors, acid-base imbalances, electrolyte shifts, or even mechanical ones like faulty monitoring equipment or electrical interference that could potentially make it look like the heart has stopped when it really hasn't. Whatever the mechanism, the most reported cases occur within 10 minutes after CPR is halted, and that's why modern resuscitation guidelines recommend waiting before officially declaring death, like waiting 10 minutes just in case. And some cases have become the stuff of nightmares or miracles, depending on how you see it. In 2014, Velma Thomas, a woman in West Virginia, was pronounced dead after 45 minutes with no pulse. Her family said goodbye. Her son said that her skin had already started hardening, her hands and toes were curling up, they were already drawn. And then 10 minutes after removing life support, her heart spontaneously restarted and she eventually recovered fully. I would put that down in the miracle case. Some sources like ABC News reported 17 hours of no brain activity for Velma Thomas. But it's hard for me to corroborate that source and say that myself, because that seems like a very long time. But I think what happened here with ABC News is this could be an example of a media outlet conflating terms like clinically dead, brain dead, and no heart activity, and just kind of getting confused with them. The core difference, though, is this. Clinical death is the temporary cessation of heartbeat and breathing that is potentially reversible by CPR or spontaneously by something like the Lazarus Syndrome, while brain death is the irreversible loss of all brain function, including the brainstem. Under the Uniform Determination of Death Act, the UDDA, death is defined as the irreversible cessation of either 1, all brain activity, or 2, circulatory and respiratory function. Just a little fun fact for you. In 2020, Tymisha Beauchamp of Michigan suffered cardiac arrest related to respiratory distress. She had very bad asthma. After 30 minutes of CPR, she was declared dead and sent to a funeral home, and only for the funeral home staff to unzip the body bag and find her with her eyes open, like gasping for air. And sadly, 2 months later, she died in the hospital, but the case underscored just how thin that line is between life and death. And doctors are quick to stress this isn't resurrection. There's no divine spark or mystery energy. It's delayed physiology, the body rebooting after stress, pressure, or medication finally align just right. Still, the name fits, though. Lazarus Syndrome reminds us that biology doesn't always follow the clock. Even death, it seems, can be slow to process. So there you have it, Lazarus Syndrome, the eerie phenomenon where the dead don't stay dead, proof that in medicine, time of death might be less final than it sounds. Go check out my sources, which can be found in the YouTube description. Leave me a comment, rate, like, subscribe, and share this with someone. I'd really appreciate all that. Go check out the short version I do of all these, that 45-second version I do across social media at Smartest Year Ever. That's how you can find me there. And in the meantime, stay curious and stay clever on our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalist. I will see you tomorrow for the final installment of Fright Facts Week in the Smartest Year Ever.